What you're going to have to do here, okay, is go through every sequence, every picture. This first picture here basically explains, gives you the scenario. You have the loading area, you have the unloading area. On the loading area here, you have a switch. This is called a limit switch. Okay, think of it as a switch. When the, let me just finish writing this down here. When the cart is on the left-hand side, you activate this limit switch. When the cart is all the way on the right-hand side, you activate limit switch B. There is a push button here. Okay, M is for Marche. Marche is basically start in English. Okay. Now we have to follow the sequence. Okay, we don't know much about motors yet or motor controls, so this is a simplified version. Okay. So this is the scenario. Now we're going to start right here. Okay. Well, one more thing. The cart can either go left or the cart can go right. So we have 1, 2, 3 inputs, and we have 2 outputs now. Okay. As you'll see eventually in motors, we're going to activate one contactor so the motor turns in one direction, and the second contactor so the motor turns in the other direction. So we have 2 outputs, we have 3 inputs. Now, what we have to do here, okay, is go through every picture step by step, every picture, every combination here, and plot that or document it here. So you have the A, which is a limit switch, B, which is a limit switch, M, which is the push button, and then you have 2 outputs. Output for right, output for left. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the first one. Again, the top one, that's just the explanation. The first one is right here. So the cart right now is in the loading area. If it's in the loading area, is A, limit switch A, activated or not?
Yes.
If it's activated, is it a 1 or a 0?
It's a 1.
It's a 1. If the cart is on the left, can it be on the right?
No.
Therefore, B is
0.
Not
0. If there's no one pressing the push button M here, that means that it's also a
0.
0. So look carefully here. I have 1, 0, 0. So that combination there, I have to go into my truth table and I have to put either a 0 or a 1 depending on the scenario. But here it says, in this position, the cart is stopped, right? Because you're loading. You don't want the cart to be moving when it's being loaded. Okay, so let's start by, first of all, filling in the truth table here. So since we have 3 inputs, how many combinations are we going to have?
7. 8.
8, 0 through to 7. So I'm just going to number this here, 5, 6, and 7. And then remember that a 0 in binary is 0, 0, 0, a 1 in binary is 0, 0, 1, followed by 0, 1, 0. So that's a 2. This is a 3. This is a 4. This is a 5. This is a 6. And this is a 7. Okay. So what was the combination we just discussed at the very top, Pietro? What was it?
4.
1 0 0. So it should be here now.
1 0 0. So at combination 1 0 0, the first one, 1 0 0 is right here. Is the cart going left or right?
Right. Oh, left.
Yeah.
Left.
Left.
So you put a 1 in the left.
Yeah, left.
When loading, cart is stopped. It's not going left or right.
Or right.
It's on the left. But when I say going left or right, it means that it's actually moving. Right now, it's not moving. So at 1 0 0, it's not going left or right. If it's not going left or right, we put a 0 and a 0. I'm going to put a little comment here as well.
Put it with other color here. With other color.
Part is being loaded, okay? Or is being loaded or loading side. Part loading. So basically it's stopped. Okay? So far, so good?
Yeah.
So let's go to the second scenario. Second picture. That was the first one. Done. Now what happens is, when loading is finished, the operator presses on the M push button and the cart moves to the right. So when you activate the M, that means the M is a 1. When the M is being activated, A is still activated because the cart is still on the left. It starts moving a little bit, but it's still touching. If it's still on the left, it cannot be on the right. So B right now is a
0.
0. So at 1, 0, 1, the cart is moving on the right. Julius? Julius?
Yeah, sir.
At 1, 0, 1, the cart is moving on the right. This is not a good time not to be paying attention, Julius. 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, sorry, it's moving on the right. If it's moving on the right, can it move left as well?
No.
No. You should try it out in your car. Go forward and then put it directly into reverse. See what happens. Not good. First of all, you can't go in both directions at the same time either. So here, basically, cart is moving right. Cart is moving right. Done. Mr. Defenza, you okay?
Yeah.
Isaac, everything good?
Doing
I
great,
did my
sir.
shit backwards, but I understand what I did wrong.
Okay, everyone understands that they're being recorded for this, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Everyone's okay with it?
no,
Yeah.
I do.
Is everyone okay with it?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Wait, sir, why do you keep asking us if we're okay with it?
Because you have to be okay with it, otherwise I can't record.
Oh, shit.
This. Anyhow,
Come
are
on,
you
man.
okay with it, Julius?
Maybe.
You have to
No.
answer yes or no. I'm stopping this right here.
Doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother
Okay, thanks for wasting my time.
0 or
Okay.
1.
As it's moving toward the right, Julius, the A then is disengaged, so it becomes a 0. It's not quite on the unloading area yet, so B is also a 0. The button is still being pressed. In real life, it wouldn't be, okay? There's something called the maintain. We're going to talk about that in another module. So we have 0, 0, but the button is still being pressed. So at combination 0, 1, 0, I just want to stress as well, since the M is in the center here, but we're not saying A, M, B. It's A, B, M. That's the order. A, B, M. The cart continues to go toward the right. Right? So at 0, 0, 1, the cart is going toward the right. 0, 0, 1, the cart is going toward the right. I'm just going to abbreviate here. It's going on the right, toward the right. I'll put a little arrow here, going toward the right.
What image is that? 001.
The one I was just on. This one
Yeah.
right over here, figure number 4. This one here. So look, if we look at the previous one here, someone just pressed the button and the cart's going on toward the right. So the next thing to happen is, as it moves away from the limit switch disengages here.
Mm-hmm.
So at 0, 0, 1, it has to continue moving toward the right. You good, Matt?
Okay, yeah.
So Matt, eventually the cart gets to B, where it stops, right? So N is maintained until the cart activates limit switch B. So basically, if the cart is on B, it is not on A, therefore A is 0. If the cart is on B, it means B is activated 1, and I'm still pressing the button. So at 0, 1, 1, Is the cart going right or left?
It's maintaining
Neither.
its movement.
Neither. It has to get unloaded now, so it's got to be
Mhm.
stopped. So 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. It's not going right. It's not going left. It's basically in the unloading position. Okay. Just to be clear, it stopped. Anyone have any questions? No, we're good. We can continue. All right. So what happens next is this is the change. Okay. It says once unloading operation is finished, the operator releases the M push button. Again, this is not a true to life method of doing things. Okay, but it's just a simplified version. When it's released, the cart moves towards the left. So basically, you just release the push button. The cart starts to move left, but for a short period of time, B is still active. If B is active, then the cart can be in two places at once, which means A is not active. And like I mentioned before, M is released, so it's a 0. So at 0, 1, 0, at 0, 1, 0, the cart is moving left. At 0, 1, 0, the cart is moving left. If it's moving left, it cannot go right. It's moving toward the left. I'll put an arrow here going left. It's going back to its initial position. Go back to the next one. This one here is done. Have a look at the next one. So
Sure.
the cart continues moving left. Therefore, now limit switch B is completely disengaged, but I'm not quite at A yet, and I'm not pressing the button. So this is basically 0, 0, 0. At 0, 0, 0, the cart has to continue to go left. So at 0, 0, 0, the cart has to continue to go left. And if it's going left, it cannot go right. I forgot to put a 0 here before, but it's the same thing. Before it was going right. So if it's going left, it can't go right. So it's going left. Going left. Done. Going left. The next picture or scenario is it gets back to the loading area where A is active again. If A is active and B is not, B is 0. I'm not pressing the push button, so that's a 0 as well. I've gone back to the initial position, which was 1, 0, 0. I'm just going to go double check 1, 0, 0. 1, 0, 0. The cart wasn't being loaded. Now I've got two scenarios here that I haven't touched, and the simple reason is that the cart can't be in position A and B at the same time. So these are impossible. Okay, so there's 0. Okay. So now you have a truth table. So you have the scenario here. You've taken it step by step, and step by step, you're taking that information and you're transcribing it into a truth table. And now that you have a truth table, you have to simplify. But you have to simplify for two outputs. So here you're going to need two Carnots. One for RG, which is for the right, and one for LF, which is for the left. Okay, so I'm asking for unsimplified equations. And just to kind of reiterate what you have to do here is, let's just choose, let's say, the right first. When is the right output active? It's active here, and it's active here. That means that I've got to get the unsimplified equation from this combination here and this combination here. So for the right, unsimplified, before Carnot, we have an A that's a 0, a B that's a 0, and an M that's a 1. So the unsimplified equation is A naught That should be a B naught. And an M. Plus the second group right here, which is A, B naught, M. Okay. So I'm not going to do the next one for you. You can do it yourself. But for the next output LF, well, when is it a 1? It's a 1 here, and it's a 1 here. Therefore, to get the unsimplified equation, you're going to get it off of these zeros here and this combination here. Okay, and you're going to write it down right here. After you finish that, well, look, I've set you up pretty nice here with two Carnals. Okay, so you're going to simplify your equation there. But the difficult part here is actually coming up with the truth table. So the truth table is done for you.